It is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you our two colleagues from Marketplace Simulations, without whom this session and the presence of these young leaders who have traveled far and wide would not be possible. Dr. Ernie Kadode, founder of Marketplace Simulations, and Dr. Bindu Agrawal, distributor and collaborator at Marketplace. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, well, thank you very much, Sophie. We want to share with you the work of champions. And we're going to do this. We have 5 teams that have achieved great things. They played in a marketplace simulation that dealt with conscious capitalism. But more important, what they have done is made a difference in their community. And they're going to tell their stories. But before we talk about this leadership in action, we want to give you a little bit of background as to how they got here today. So let's start with Prime's, what I consider its major objective, which is to create leaders who know how to manage societal impact when they get into their companies in just a short period of time. Now, you can ask yourself, how do we develop this kind of a skill? And I think the emphasis here is on skill. Just recently, AACSB published a study on the state of business education. And what they concluded is that we are very good at developing knowledge, but we're not good enough at developing skills. Our students need to have skills that transcend industries, transcend jobs, transcend career paths, and these kinds of things. And the way you develop skills is through practice. That's the chief approach that you need to use with your students. And there are many experiential learning exercises that they can engage in to get this experience. But there are 2 in particular that I think that stand out. The first one is exactly what Prime does with their global business students. They work with the signatory universities around the world. And what they are doing is encouraging them to have their students get out into the world and identify problems, try to figure out what the causes are, and from that develop an approach to solve those problems. And it's not just to study it, but to do something about it. So after they've done this research, then they get the resources together, work with the people in the community, and begin to enact programs to make a difference. And when they're done, they measure the impact. And we heard that word today many times. But the goal of Prime, working with these students, is to get them in the community where they are doing project studies and working in a very active way and learning from the actions that they are engaged in and the outcomes and the people that they work with. Now, a second way that we recommend is through simulations. They represent an excellent way to give students an intensive experience in a complex world using system thinking, integration across all kinds of disciplines. And we developed a simulation based on conscious capitalism. Several years ago, the author and spiritual leader of conscious capitalism, Raj Sisodia, approached me and he said, we need to get more people engaged, involved in conscious capitalism. Now, what's unique and special about Raj Sisodia, their focus is on the private sector. They're working with industry to develop conscious leaders, conscious cultures, taking care of all stakeholders. And they wanted us to help bring what they were doing in the business community into academia and working with students. So I worked with him for 3 years, and we created this conscious capitalism simulation. And the idea is to give students experience in all aspects of managing a company to do not only financially well, but to also do good. So we have these 2 approaches, and they both came together in the project that we undertook, Professor Bindu and myself, with a number of students throughout the world. And Professor Bindu will tell you a little bit more.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you about why these teams and their students are there. So we run conscious capitalism simulation across the globe. So 2 competitions were run. First was the PGS Sustainability Award, which Prime undertook, and they have 9 regions. And globally, they invite the applications and the documents and the work done by the students from different organizations the students are running under the Prime guidance and the faculty mentorship. So from that process, they were able to select the best 9 teams across the 9 regions. Then they asked us to help with further screening, and through the conscious capitalism simulation, we run again a global competition among those 9 teams, and 3 best teams now today we have in the room, and they are going to tell their stories, what kind of projects they have done, what kind of changes they have made in the world, and why they are passionate about their work. So you are going to listen all these things very soon. And second is the African Research Initiative Conference, which was held in Alexandria, Egypt. So again, it is a kind of a competition held in the continent of Africa. More than 18 teams or schools participated, and then finally 11 teams were there to compete and participate in the conscious capitalism simulation. And out of those 11 teams, now in the room we have 2 teams representative, and 1 team is going to participate online. So this is how we have these competitions conducted, and these students are going to present their ideas and the stories very soon. So we have, yes, about the conscious capitalism, there is a small video.
What is the main purpose of a business? Generations of entrepreneurs, economists, and educators have believed that the sole purpose of business is shareholder wealth. Businesses driven by profit have created job opportunities, technological advancements, and improved standards of living. Yet, the pursuit of profit has sometimes caused harm to the environment, customers, employees, and society. Is it time to make a change? New business philosophies such as triple bottom line, principles of responsible management education, sustainable development goals, environmental social governance, socially responsible investment, and conscious capitalism call for businesses to not only focus on shareholders, but to recognize the needs of employees, customers, suppliers, communities, and society. AACSB standards now require schools to develop leaders who understand the impact of business on the world. As educators, we have the opportunity to shape the mindset of future business leaders. We can become the catalyst of this change. How can your school facilitate this shift in business philosophy? The Conscious Capitalism Business Simulation by Marketplace helps business schools develop business leaders who can manage both profit and business's societal impact. More than 60,000 students and executives from educational institutions around the world have already benefited from the Conscious Capitalism Simulation as part of their business education. How does it work? Students work as an executive team, running their own business in an online game environment. Over the course of several business quarters, they experiment with business decisions and compete against other companies. Students analyze the market opportunity and devise a business strategy. They design products to satisfy the customer's needs and develop advertising campaigns to persuade potential customers to buy. Students set up sales outlets around the world and manage production to fulfill customer demand. They learn to strike the balance between doing well through profit maximization and doing good through socially conscious management. For example, their company's HR manager is concerned about the monotonous nature of production work lowering employee satisfaction and productivity. She wants workers to be cross-trained and have more variety in their job. Reports start coming in about a product defect that could harm customers and hurt the company reputation. the workers worry about the health effects of harmful chemicals and airborne particles they inhale in their workplace. The local community is unhappy with the factory's impact on the environment. Students must decide how to address these issues while handling the usual challenges of running a business. Should they worry about environmental concerns? Should they invest more in workers? Or the quality of products to make customers happier? Should they spend money to improve supplier relationships, the health of their employees, or make a difference in the community? These are tough choices to make, since there is not enough money to do all that is needed. Students discover what drives sales, profits, customer perception, employee morale, company reputation, and more. They learn that taking care of all stakeholders can increase the bottom line. As students make realistic business decisions and immediately see the results of their actions, they internalize key business concepts and the principles of socially responsible leadership through practice. Socially responsible leaders can create a better future. The Conscious Capitalism simulation can help you develop the minds that will lead this change.
So, I hope you can appreciate the value of this kind of experience. And because Prime was aware of conscious capitalism, they asked us to help identify, out of the 9 regional winners, the top 3. And then when we got invited by the AfRIC conference in Alexandria, they wanted us to not only train them, but also identify those who were the best. And as a result of that, we invited 5 teams to come. 4 were able to come, and 1 is going to be online. And who are the winners?
So I will announce, the winners are from PGS Sustainability Award. We have 3 teams. First is Sweden. It's got Home School of Economics.
Can we have you, the Sweden school, stand up?
The second team is from Birla Institute of Management and Technology, India. And third team is from Australia, Monash University. The winners of AfRIC 2024 were Uganda, Makerere University, and Senghor University from Egypt, Alexandria. These people are going to join us online. They could not make traveling here. So these are the 5 teams.
So what we're going to do is have each team come up here and tell their story. Now, they got here because they did a really great job in managing a company to achieve positive societal impact while at the same time earning a profit. So they earned the right to come, and we invited them and brought them here. But they have done so much more, and it's what else they've done that we want to share with you, because they embody the principles of Prime and everything they're trying to do with PGS. And so we would like to have each team come up. And who's up first, Bindu?
Yes, first we would like to invite Sweden team. An enthusiastic team of 5 people, 4 girls and ballet. Yes.
All right. Good afternoon, everyone. We are Team Sweden, representing the SASSE Sustainability Group from the Stockholm School of Economics, or SSG as we refer to it. We are a fully student-led initiative and incredibly honored to be standing here today as finalists.
And today we're on this stage in New York, but our journey started almost exactly 1 year ago in Stockholm, Sweden, where we stepped on as the new board of SSG. Throughout the past year, we've worked to fulfill SSG's mission of inspiring future leaders to create lasting change in business and in society. To do this, we run 4 projects aimed at putting sustainability at the center of our future careers, in a way that's both engaging and creative. Our 4 projects are Effective Altruism Club, Sustainable Finance Club, Sustainable Career Week, and Sustainable Fashion Week.
And we would love to talk more about our 4 initiatives during this session, but also the coming days that follow. But for this presentation, we will be focusing on one of our biggest and most creative projects, which is the Sustainable Fashion Week. And now, Pelle, I'm aware that you actually were the president of Fashion Week 2 years ago. So why don't you tell us a little bit more about that?
That's right, Magdalena, but rather than telling you, I think it's better to show you a video.
Each spring, something a little bit unexpected happens at our business school.
We roll out the runway, dim the lights, and put sustainability in the spotlight.
This is Sustainable Fashion Week, hosted by the Student Sustainability Group of Stockholm School of Economics. Our goal? To inspire students and faculty to think differently about the clothes they wear and, more broadly, how they live.
We partner with thrift stores, vintage shops, and secondhand retailers to create the looks, all borrowed and all circular. This year's show was our biggest yet. We partnered with Swedish Threads, a cross-university initiative for students pursuing careers in fashion. We collaborated with 7 secondhand shops, secured several sponsors, and worked with Stockholm Makeup Institute.
We want to prove that sustainability doesn't mean compromising on style,
And that it can be creative, inclusive, and honestly, a lot of fun.
With this project, we advanced the prime principles of purpose, partner, and practice, and supported the Sustainable Development Goals.
Responsible consumption and production.
Decent work and economic growth.
Partnerships for the goals. At the end of the day, it's not just about fashion.
It's about showing that anyone can be part of a more sustainable future and looking good doing it.
Wow. Pelle, thank you so much for showing us that and for truly demonstrating how we work with both creativity, but also cross-industry collaborations for our students. But I think that at the core of SSG lies something a bit deeper, because our mission came from the realization that our students often felt a disconnect from sustainability and how it connects to their passions and their interests. And at SSG, we saw this as problematic because our students often come to shape both public policy and corporate sustainability across both Sweden, but also the world. And so what we wanted to do is to showcase that sustainability isn't just a niche, it's a necessity, and can be integrated into their passions and their biggest interests.
And we know that this approach is working because last year, 25% of the freshman bachelor class applied to join us. But our impact extends beyond our campus and the Stockholm School of Economics. This year, we initiated a collaboration with Civica. You might know Civica. It's a network of leading European universities with a focus on social studies. We also had a panel discussion with the former Swedish climate minister, and we collaborated with major companies, including IKEA.
In the marketplace simulation, we wanted to incorporate this approach of focusing on our people, specifically through looking at employee well-being and employee empowerment. And that's how we achieved the highest cumulative balance scorecard in the competition. Again, showcasing that our mission and our philosophy of engagement and student empowerment is a success story. So what's next? Similarly, in SSG, we recognize that our strength and our legacy is our people. SSG alumni are driving change through founding sustainability-focused startups and e-commerce, joining green investment funds, shaping political communication on global challenges, and contributing to a variety of both local as well as international NGOs. And that's exactly the future we want to build on. This coming year, we're aiming to broaden our initiatives and events to a wider range of industries, as well as invite our partner student associations in these efforts to collaborate and have a joint mission together. We are really excited about these new opportunities, and we hope so are you.
And to conclude, we would love to thank both Prime and Marketplace for believing in our work and making it possible for us to stand here today in front of you. If you'd like to keep up with our upcoming projects, feel free to connect with us on LinkedIn or on Instagram, or both. And once again, we are super excited to be talking to you at the tables, and a big thank you.
Thank you.
Now I would like to invite Team Australia from Monash University. So they have been doing wonderful work, passionate about whatever they're doing. So you will listen to stories from their mouth.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are we? My name is Smithoni.
I'm Patrick Ewan.
And I'm Aditya Jain. We're from Monash University, based in Melbourne, Australia. Today, we'll be sharing 3 key initiatives: a student-led podcast, an inclusive development series, and our long-term partnership with a charity called Mum Supporting Families in Need.
Our first key initiative was our student-led podcast called Make It Count, where we explored topics like sustainability and digital transformation. We reached audiences across the globe. The podcast drove knowledge accessibility and critical discussion on universal topics.
Secondly, we ran our Inclusive Leadership Series, 3 events designed with and for marginalised students. Together, we tackled unconscious biases, explored cultures, and assisted international students with job hunting in Australia.
Our presentation will focus on the initiative closest to our hearts, our partnership with Mum Supporting Families in Need, or MSFIN for short, a local charity dedicating to providing support to those facing crisis, displacement, or poverty.
No family should have to choose between putting food on the table and buying clothing. However, right now in Australia, over 823,000 children are living in poverty, and behind every number is a real family struggling to cope. MSFIN exists for those moments when life falls apart, when a mother is forced to leave her home due to domestic violence with nothing but her kids, a key issue within society. MSFIN steps in with love, dignity, and practical support, providing clothing, cots, toiletries, and other essentials so that way no one can go without. It's a reminder that in the toughest of times, community matters most.
The work that our members did for MSFIN include building hamper packs of essentials and running donation drives for clothing and pantry food. In 2024, we volunteered for over 200 hours. We raised thousands in donations, and we helped MSFIN garner corporate partnerships for their financial longevity.
Let's play a quick video showing our volunteering. And as we do that, I want you to picture Amy, a pregnant 37-year-old mother of a 6-year-old boy and an 11-year-old girl. I want you to imagine the hardship Amy goes through when her family lacks the basic daily essentials to get by, fighting to make ends meet and searching for a positive impact in their livelihoods. We aim to provide support through our members assembling care packages for families in need. Included are items such as clothing and toiletries, so that way families like Amy's can go without worrying for the health and safety of their children.
Cases like Amy show that our service isn't just about giving back. It's about developing the human-centered capabilities we believe should define the future of business. We achieve this by prioritizing community service and empowering students to understand key societal issues and enact impactful change. Being fully student-led, our efforts directly boost MSFIN's capacity to provide for others.
To us at Beta Alpha Psi, it showed us why we exist. Not only do we want to develop technically skilled graduates, but we want to cultivate ethical, informed, and socially responsible leaders. This helped further the purpose, partner, and values principles of PRME. All of these initiatives gave us the amazing opportunity to participate in the Conscious Capitalism simulation, where we were able to launch our carbon biking company, Stride.
From the beginning, we stuck true to the motto of doing good and being better. We didn't want to cut costs at the expense of quality or people. Instead, we invested in high-quality bikes that were fairly priced, sustainably manufactured, and supported by well-treated employees.
That meant above-average wages, strong healthcare, and a safe workplace. Through design thinking methodologies, we developed Stride to offer long-term value and benefit to both people and the planet.
That's what our experiences with our initiatives and with volunteering at MSFIN did for us. It challenged us to reframe our thinking, not just around business outcomes, but around the responsibility that we all hold as future business leaders.
So, When we came together to build a business in the conscious capitalism simulation, our approach was clear. Showcase ethics, quality, and sustainable development, reflective of key values we uphold within Beta Alpha Psi.
The impact we've made started with the belief that students can lead with empathy, act with integrity, and serve more than just the bottom line as accountants. And as we look to the future, let's continue to empower students not just to succeed, but to be agents of sustainable change. Thank you to Marketplace and Prime for bringing us out here, and we look forward to chatting with you further about our impact.
Now I would like to invite T-Media. So they are also making difference in the society and doing wonderful job as a community of the students.
So very good afternoon, one and all present here. I think all of you are feeling energized after having some snacks. Are you? So, she is Arunozia and I am Neer, and we are here to represent India.
We are UFE, the Social and Sustainability Impact Club at Vimtech. We believe that even small changes can lead to greater impacts.
Our journey started in 2009, and we created a societal impact.
We believe education is important for all of us, so we work to impart knowledge and have them the basic right to read.
We also want to ensure decent and economic work for all, with a special focus in rural India.
And also for each of the section of the society to grow, apart from the social stigma that they hold.
And I think all of you present here believe that without partnership, nothing is possible. So we believe in partnership for the goals. So let's have a journey through a story of impact.
Now, can you imagine a world where you didn't know how to read and write? This was the reality of many of our staffs. She didn't know how to read a prescription. She didn't know how to read a signage, and she didn't know how to read her own child's report card. Here's a small video for her.
मैं बिमटेक की कर्मचारी हूँ और हम स्टूडेंटों ने हमारी पूरी स्कूल में मदद की क्या कहते पढ़ाई लिखाई के बारे में और हम बैंक का खाता भरना सीख गए हैं और पैसे निकालना एटीएम से और क्या कहते सब कुछ हम पे अंग्रेजी पढ़ना हिंदी पढ़ना जो कुछ हमें स्टूडेंटों ने सिखाया था वो सब कुछ हमसे आने लगा है।
So you can see that the girl is able to read and write. Now she proudly read the prescription and proudly read a report card of her child.
We work to empower them with the basic literacy, with financial inclusion so they don't get financially defrauded, and also beyond the skills about their mental well-being, because they are humans too.
And all this will be not possible without the interactive sessions we held and the collective support of everyone. What we want they come out of the poverty, they have a decent economic work growth, and have a healthy well-being life.
Next, we'll take you to the villages of India, where 534 of our students went to 15 plus villages and explored the problems that they were facing.
For us, our country village matter. Their story matters. We went, we learned, we listened. There are challenges in agriculture, livelihood, well-being, and education.
We tried to listen to their problems. We tried to co-create some solutions, have this heard to the higher authority, which actually had the power to make a change. We also tried to do something on small scale that can be implemented from our sides.
You can see the image of women self-help group making pickles and gems and selling it to marketplaces, helping their children, promoting their children's education with their own businesses.
And obviously, there were children there who were studying in their own schools. We tried to find out the problems that they were facing, and also we played games with them.
And in India, we have more than 0.5 million of villages. We are a country of villages. And we want their story matter, their work condition matter, their health and well-being matters to us a lot.
Next, we came about the social entrepreneurship. We are talking about India, where villages are a prominent part. We have local artisans there who have projects that they want to showcase, but they don't have the means. We have a small video for one of them telling her problems.
आपका नाम? मनीषा। तो आप ये कब से बना रहे हैं?
साल भर हो गया है।
अच्छा, तो आप करते क्या हैं इसका मतलब?
नहीं, शादी में गिफ्ट कर देते हैं, अगर कोई मांगता है तो उनको बेच देते हैं, दे देते हैं।
हाँ, मतलब आपको बाहर इसको बेचने का भी कोई जरिया नहीं है?
नहीं।
ठीक है।
You have listened the story of Lakshmi, who is creating sustainable product but doesn't find a meal to sell it. So what we does, we help them to create a product, build a marketing strategy, and have an online market access. We want them their product should reach all of us.
This was not all. We also had sessions for them and educated them what can be done for them. We also tried to have sessions for ourselves to be the change makers here.
And every cell this woman do supports their family, supports them to come out of the poverty and ensure healthy well-being life for their children too.
These initiatives helps us come to the next part of it, that was marketplace simulation, where we stepped into the shoes of conscious business leader, where each decision had a purpose, not just about profits.
We learn a purpose-driven decision making. We have integrated ESG factor into all the across the function of the organization, and we know how to formulate a sustainable strategy.
It was also about cross-functional decision making, because every section of a business couldn't run in the silos. It was also about long-term value creation, because a business should also have their own values.
And marketplace simulation is not just a game. It teaches you how a leadership think about, how future leaders to think when it's come to all stakeholders.
This is our team at BIMTech, and I have a small message from their side. We talked about all the impact that we had in the rural India, but it wasn't that they didn't have any impact on us. You see, we are pampered children of our own families. We didn't know that there was a side of India where this was happening. We tried to, after all of this that we went through, we try to help even on a small scale that we can, maybe give them a pen or a notebook, those who have zeal to understand it. And this is our team who worked in this competition. We are very thankful for PRME and Marketplace for giving us this platform. Thank you.
The next team is from Uganda.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We are Team Pampe from Makerere University, Uganda, and my name is Tsime Fortunate Agnes.
Elisha Namwera. And I'm Rani Atuhaire. So today we are here to tell you a story from Uganda. Growing up as a child, we had food on the table and also had some little money, and I went to some good schools. But that changed in 2016. A divorce happened between mom and dad, and that affected us as children mentally, physically, emotionally, but most importantly, financially. So as children, we wanted to continue with school, but with no hope. We reached out to friends, colleagues, and relatives, uncles and aunties, and they actually helped us to contribute for money towards education. Years later, I see my fellow friends at campus, but also I get to see different people around campus towards, usually around exam period, trying to push campaigns about them looking for money to actually continue with school, or they're being chased out of class. And this is a nightmare in Uganda, because out of people who make it to higher education, 90 of them usually fail. And not just because they're not bright, but because of finances. So we teamed up with as software student and computer science students to come up with a solution that we are calling Mpampe. Mpampe is a local word where we come from that means give us, we give out. So we are helping students to raise money digitally so that they can actually continue doing school, and we walk journeys with them with an accountable and transparent solution. And we did learn this from the capital simulation challenge that we had in Alexandria, where we are among the winners, and we have now a conscious culture enabled in our solution to actually create purpose, not just profits. We are contributing towards 5 of the UN SDGs with a special focus on SDG number 4, quality education, because that is our bottom of our heart. And we align perfectly with the 7 principles of responsible management and education to make sure that we continue building what we are doing and also contributing to the world.
How would you feel if your academic dream is just one tuition bill away from being shattered? Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the story of our one Oscar Nijema, who was at the verge of dropping out of school just because of tuition balance. How did we help as Impampe? We piloted a campaign where we were able to collect close to 1,000 USD that supported his tuition. Today, Oscar holds a bachelor's degree in finance. Next is the story of Awan Joel Mujisha. He was struggling with a heart complication. We couldn't just watch a fellow student lose his life just because he did not have finances to support his medication. We piloted another campaign where we were able to collect 5,500 USD despite being in a student-led community. We managed to collect that money, and Joel got an immediate surgery and had his life saved. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not just about funds. It's a reminder that with collective effort, we can preserve life and give hope. So let's take a look at Joel give his testimony.
My name is Mugisha Joel. I'm a student from Makerere University. I'm second year mechanical engineering, and I went through a mitral valve replacement surgery on the 27th of November. And I want to thank my family, most especially my mother, my aunties. I want to thank the Impampe group for all their support. And I want to thank my classmates, my OPs from Sadat. Thank you for showing me the love. I really appreciate. Thank you a lot. I can't describe how grateful I am for what you've done for me. Thank you a lot.
The big question stands, who is Joel? Joel is me, Joel is you. We are stuck, all we need is a small push. So Joel represents us. Very many people out there, all they need is a small help. These situations are small, but without any solution, they'll hold them back. That's where Impampe comes in. We provide that hand, that bridge. We provide that hand so that people can pursue what they want. It's not easy for people who come from areas whereby the people who contribute are contributing very little, but with that little, we're able to create something very big. That's why we're so grateful for Prime Marketplace Simulations for this opportunity, whereby we believe in collective effort. One by one makes a bundle. That's why we're here tonight. For that matter, let's appreciate this team, and all of us can be part of this team because we're 8 individuals trying to push something, but with your support, with you on board, we can reach very far. We're designing a digital solution. It would work everywhere, not just in Africa. It would attract support from everywhere. To check our progress, that's the QR code. It links you up to you could find the URL for the MVP, which is undergoing for the digital platform, our socials, as well as more details about the campaigns that have been successful. Thank you.
Thank you.
So now we have last team from Egypt, Team Senghor. So they are going to join us online.
Greetings, everybody. We are very happy to participate in this forum and share this experience with the other teams. Although we are online, we are driven by a strong conviction that every child deserves quality nutrition. This principle is at the heart of our commitment. Our project was born out of responsibility, innovation, and solidarity. We are a Pan-African team of French speakers trained at Senghor University in Alexandria, Egypt. Faced with child malnutrition, we choose to take action together. In the Democratic Republic of Congo and Mali, social political crises led to vulnerability among population, and one of the most severe consequences is child malnutrition. Our response to tackle this challenge is Abana, an enriched infant flour that is locally produced, affordable, and suitable for children from 6 months of age. But Abana is more than just a food product. It's an integrated approach combining nutritional education, digital growth monitoring, and support for displaced women through local sourcing of raw materials. This vision was strengthened through our conscious capitalism training with marketplace simulation. Thanks to Senghor University, we gained the tools to design practical solutions adapted to the realities of the Global South. To date, over 5,000 children have been impacted, families supported, and income generated in line with the Sustainable Development Goals. We share our experience with colleagues from other countries during workshop and conference, since our model can be replicated in other contexts. And with the feedback, we are happy to inspire many others. Thank you for your attention.
I have to say I'm moved by these stories. I hope you have the same experience. It's absolutely amazing what young people can do and lead us, the professors, the deans, the directors, and so forth. And as I say, I couldn't have been more proud of being part of this. What we're going to do now is we're going to go to breakout sessions. We have positioned a member of every team in all the tables with the red cloths on them. And what we do is we invite those of you who are sitting here in the middle, there's empty chairs around. And I'll have if I could have the students stand up just so you know where they are, please. Okay, so we have space over here. There's a little space there. We have Joel or Pele who's here in the middle. And we'd like you to get up and have a discussion about what you just witnessed. And the students will start off with what their experience was, what they gained from this. And then we'd like to shift to how can we help Prime do this on a much grander scale. We have 5 great examples. We'd like to have 50 next year, 500, 5,000. We're getting going. And so let's have a little discussion, and then we'll have a member from each team talk about what was discussed at their table. So please, I'd like those in the middle, you can move out, and we have Pele over here, and he will take care of everybody that's left, and we have some other coaches here.
So I can see a lot of discussion and, engagement is going on, but this is time to wrap up. And may I request Alicia to share with us what kind of discussions you had on your table so that we can have an idea of your story and people engaged.
All right, thank you for the opportunity. My table, we majorly focused on the landscape of finance in Africa and how we can tap into it. It's looking at the facts that less than 4% of Ugandans are not banked. They don't have accounts, and we have been brainstorming how do we hope these people get banked through international organizations like Prime. In that case, my friend here just highlighted and gave me an example of the alumni mentoring the undergrads, which would hope these people understand more. So mentorship was core here. Another point was partnerships, where we talked about, yes, we advocate for partnership, but what are the consequences, or what trade-offs do you have to make? You bring in someone, become a partner, and they take over, they change your vision. So which brought us the fact that we have to be able to think through and make the right partnerships at all time. Thank you.
That's interesting discussion you had, Alicia. Thank you so much. And one from that corner, maybe Aditya. Can you tell us what kind of discussions you had at your table?
Sure. So I decided to challenge the faculty and dean members sitting on my table and ask them about, what initiatives are their institutions doing to help support some of the SDGs, the PRME goals. And we had a really interesting discussion on experimental learning and what are some of the initiatives that are being done in other institutions. And there was really, really cool initiatives being done. We have the Crimson Group from LMU who connect with social entrepreneurs, and they connect their students to NGOs and learn from them. So that way students can sort of see how that industry is going. We also have lots of institutions connecting with GBSN, connecting with Aim to Flourish, and even have MBA students, taking parts in SDG related projects. And that way it's a part of their graded coursework. So they really are forced to think about the PRME principles and the SDGs. So it was really good, but we also turned our discussion to succession planning and how student leadership initiatives can face succession planning problems as some of the motivated student leaders leave, and then faculty members aren't able to find the students needed to continue them on. And we were just discussing some ideas how we can integrate masters and undergrads together so the undergrad students can continue to the MBA programs projects.
Really good ideas, and I think that people, those who are in the room, can get some insight into it, and they can carry on their clubs and activities in the way you described. Okay, now we can have one more team. So from you, Maga?
Yes. I also challenged my table a little bit. First, we discussed, obviously what we do at the Stockholm School of Economics, but then I asked, how the faculty at this table works with sustainability and sustainable organizations at their university. And there, I think we sort of formed 3 distinct categories. Our university works a lot with fully student-led organizations. We organize everything ourselves and have very limited help from faculty. But we also had, the intersection of the two, where faculty and students work together. But also where, the faculty are more engaging for the students. And when a faculty member leaves, how do we continue on the association, and how can we sort of bridge that gap? And I think our discussion landed in that it's all about working together, collaboration, but also how do we pass on our learnings and our association to the next generation. So for us at the Stockholm School of Economics, that has a lot to do with handover periods, working together and sharing what worked and what didn't. And we think that we can integrate that into faculty perspectives as well. So very insightful conversations. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Now I think we have a little time. And can I request Arunoja to share the discussions?
Yes. So most of the discussion on our table was based on the initiative that our college did. And we went deep into it. There, one question was asked for me that we were trying to impart knowledge to our staff members. So did we face any psychological hindrance from them? And yes, we do face psychological hindrance with anything. We abort changes sometimes. We like the constant that we have. So any change we want to make is met with disruptions. So we tried to overcome them by our own initiatives. I also came to know that one of the, I won't say, we don't have so much knowledge of the SDGs. And yes, we have a formal course here that runs in our college where we have to learn about all the 17 SDGs. So one question was about my aspirations and how I'm going to continue with the work. Personally, I can do something from my level, but once I pass out my college, yes, I'll have to give up that responsibility to my juniors. That's all our discussion.
Thank you, Arunoja. So with this, we are on time and ready to wind up our session. Over to you, Ernie.
I think your packet is still turned off. I wanted us to provide some inspirational. Cheyenne, she built into our schedule some inspirational talk, but I think the students did it. All right. If you want to change the world, get the students involved. That's, to me, is the main theme that we have here. So I want to thank all of the students and all of you for participating. All right. But we're not done yet. We have one last little thing we'd like to do. I'd like to have all the students come up here and their coaches, all right? And we're going to have one little celebration to end today and make it memorable. So okay. So I also want to recognize the work of coaches. We have Swab, raise your hand. He's the coach for the Uganda team. And Daniela, Jean, Maria. It takes a village to be successful and a really strong team and a great coach. Now, to end the day, I have an echo.
Yeah.
Okay. To end the day, I want to just tell a little story. A number of years ago, I was in India, and I took the opportunity to hike in the Himalayas. And I had a guide, and we hiked up to about 12,000 feet. I was on top of a mountain, and but all around me were even greater mountains than what I was standing on. Everywhere I looked, they were magnificent, very rugged, snow-covered. It was inspiring to me. And I asked the guide, I said, what do you say in the face of such awesome experience and inspiration and magnificence? And he said, when we have these kind of moments, we yell, Jai-Ho. And I said, well, what does Jai-Ho mean? He said, well, you know, long time past when warriors would go into battle, they would yell Jai-Ho as they would go into battle, and that at that moment it meant let victory prevail. But we don't have need for that anymore. And now Jai-Ho has taken on a new meaning, which is let this moment last forever. And I think that's what we have here. We want this moment to last forever. And what I'd like you to do is join us in a Jai-Ho cheer. If all of you would stand, okay, we're going to do a Jai-Ho together. All right. We're going to do it 3 times. I will count to 3, and we all yell Jai-Ho, and express yourself fully. All right. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Jai-Ho! Okay, we can be a little louder than that. All right. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, let's really let it out. Okay. On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.